Lakers legends and longtime friends Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson were bonded by purple and gold.
You were his idol. I mean, that's something.
Well, we idolized each other.
Overnight, Magic remembering Kobe's passion for the game.
Every night you came to Staples Center, you knew you were going to see something special.
We're here to celebrate the greatest who's ever wore the purple and gold.
A young Kobe inspired by Magic on the court.
Did you ever dream that you would do the type of things that you're doing now in the NBA?
I dreamt it. I grew up watching you, watching Bird, watching Michael, and I just always believed that winning multiple championships was part of, being a great player. Like, that's what you had to do.
It was Magic who shocked the world in 1991 when he announced he was HIV positive and leaving the NBA. Shortly after the news of Bryant's death, Magic in disbelief.
I was supposed to pass away. He was supposed to be talking about me, not me, but talking about him. It's a sad day, man.
Another Lakers legend, Shaquille O'Neal, describing the devastating moment he learned his friend and teammate was gone.
Haven't felt the pain that sharp in a while. I now know what it feels like to lose a brother.
Their legendary partnership leading the Lakers to 3 straight NBA championships over 8 seasons. The competitive drive remaining even after their careers came to an end.
You remember when your jersey retirement, just happy for you, But I couldn't help but say, this night is made a lot sweeter because I know you have 4 and I have 5.
Shaq now mourning what might have been.
We're not going to be able to say, hi, I got 5, you got 4. Those are the things that you can't get back. It's the only thing I wish I could just say something to him again.
Another former Lakers great, Jerry West, was the team's general manager on the night of the 1996 NBA draft, orchestrating that trade for Kobe that would change NBA history and the direction of the franchise.
I think the thing that for all of us who had time to spend with him when he was so young, that's what makes it so hard.
What did Kobe mean to you as a player and a person?
It's still hard to process. This is a tragedy. It's just made so many people in the world so sad. And having an opportunity to compete against Kobe and being around him in the human space was a joy. And those emotions just start coming out at once. And it's hard to comprehend all of this. But just having that time and those moments with Kobe, it was always about pressing forward, you know what I mean? And I think at this time it's so hard to do so with just the amount of impact that he had on all of us, It's hard to keep going right now, but as a basketball community, as the world as a whole, I know we're all just mourning and sticking together when it comes to this.
Kevin, how did he impact you?
As a young basketball player and somebody you looked up to, and as a high schooler, not knowing much outside of just playing basketball, and then getting to the league and getting to know the person and the man and everything just that comes with it. With Kobe Bryant was just a joy to be around. It's just you display every emotion when you're around him. As a competitor, you hated playing against him. As somebody that admired him, you just love being in his presence. It was just one of those things. As a young hooper, he meant the world to us.
Basketball's a family. What has it been like grieving and processing this as a team and with the teammates?
We all have Kobe was so great that we all had our own personal relationship with him, no matter if we were close to him or far away. As a kid growing up in Maryland and watching the Lakers so much, I felt like I knew him close my whole life. We see him grow up. We see him, retire and go into the second phase of life. So it's just so many people that are sad about this, and it hurts to even just think about it.
Kevin, Kobe wrote in his book that when the Achilles injuries happened to him, I treated it as a new challenge, and people were saying I might not be able to come back. That's when I decided I had to climb that mountain. Does that Mamba mentality mean something to you as you try your next challenge and climb your new mountain?
Definitely. Just being around somebody who's been through so much in his life, who've invited everybody into his life as well along that journey, and just to see the lessons that Kobe learned through the game and how he was so eager to give it off to the younger players. not just myself, guys that were #1 options on their team, but even role-playing guys. He always, guys that were, in and out the league, he always had his arm around them. So just a huge, huge ambassador for us all, but also had us dreaming about what life is like outside of the game and how we can all tie it together. His lessons were small and short. He didn't say much when you was around him. He was really closed off and reserved, but when you broke that down, it was just like phenomenal to see the human he is, human he was, and just the curiosity that he had for the game, for life in general. I heard that a lot the last couple of days, his curiosity, and that's what stood out to me. I remember he asked me about how I came off a pin down one time, and I'm like, you're Kobe. So it's just, I can talk about the memories and the small interactions that I had that probably he didn't know that touched me, but I can go on and on. But I'm just grieving with his family, with his close friends, his loved ones, and everybody that was in the crash. It was just tough to take. It was devastating. So many lives were affected, and just praying for everybody that were involved.
What's the best advice he gave you off the court?
It was simply put, just put the work in, man. Kobe didn't really have any long-winded messages for me as a player. It was just quick, short gems and he led by example. So he came in and worked, and you seen it. So it was just the craft is the most important thing, and mastering it, and everything you learn from that is what you're going to be in life. And he poured everything into the game and poured everything into everybody that was involved with him.
How was on the court competitor Kobe different from off the court retirement Kobe?
Man, just when you were in his way to get to somewhere they wanted to get, our team in 2010 was in his way to get to a championship his back-to-back year. And you go from being a young player that he might talk to a bit in the game to an enemy almost. And to see that switch from the greatest player in the game at that time, and I believe that, one of the greatest players to ever touch the floor. It was different knowing that he was coming at us, and that made us all better. It elevated everybody from the training staff to the coaches to the whole organization, just knowing that we had to be on point playing against an incredible talent like that.
Were there any areas of his game that you tried to incorporate in your own when you were growing up?
One thing I learned from just being around Kobe is just being yourself, I think being comfortable with how I played. He never wanted to be like Kobe, but I always wanted to have that laser focus and that laser, that nothing was getting in the way of what I wanted to do out on the floor. And that's what I think the Marlon mentality is for him. It's just like, whatever I want to do, I'm going to put my mind to it and do it. And we all, no matter if you play basketball or not, if you watched and knew who Kobe Bryant was, you took that from him. So his mindset, just everything about him just touched so many people around the world, and it's sad to see him go, sad to see his family go through this, his daughters. It's just a devastating situation.
Does this make you think about just the fragility of life and the preciousness of it?
Yeah, I mean, we all lose people in our lives. This was such a huge loss, but being such a hero-like figure and affected the whole world. But you always think about what life means and our time here on this earth, and having genuine relationships and doing stuff that you love to do every single day is what I learned from just being around so many great talents in this game and seeing them struggle and go through what life is about. And Kobe's one of those guys that a lot of people say they didn't know him, and I'm like, you've seen Kobe in every situation, from rapping to winning championships to having kids to getting married to getting injured on the floor to crying on TV. You've seen everything from Kobe Bryant, and he lived his life to the fullest. And it's a joy that I was able to be born in '88 so I can catch Kobe in his prime.
Hey Kevin, obviously everybody's
I mean, anything. I mean, it's so hard to say right now. I mean, it's just if every basketball player go out there and play as hard as they can every single night to honor Kobe, I think that'll do. And you can't. I tried to think about what I would say or what I would write. It was just like nothing was big enough, And that's how I feel about everything when it comes to Kobe Bryant as his mark he left on the earth is like, feels like nothing will ever be big enough to truly honor Kobe Bryant, but how we approached everyday life as people that were, me as a disciple of Kobe who study him, learn from him. I think it's my justice to go out there and try to be the best that I can be every single day, and not just in basketball, just in everything. I feel like everybody who loved Kobe is going to take that approach in their lives.
And obviously everybody's heard who knew Kobe, but I think Kyrie was pretty close to him. I think it was good for Kyrie just to get back in the gym, back on the practice court, back with you guys today.
Most definitely. I thought it was just good for everybody to grieve how they grieve and take the process that they take. And I mean, it was a huge loss for everyone, especially Kyrie, who's had a tight relationship with Kobe since he came into the league. And, you know, to see something happen so drastic when you're about to get ready for a game that you love to play in the Mecca, in the Garden, and having to face that, all of the guys that played that night, everybody who played on the slate of games that night, who stepped into any arena and had to wear that and had to think about that. I thought about those guys a lot as well because they all appreciated Kobe and what he brought. And we know there's a brotherhood, a fraternity. We don't never want to see anything bad happen to anybody that's in this community or their family. So it's tough to.
They will be. It's going to be tough because they're going to be slotted in that 8 or 7 spot. I think it's going to be tough for them to get to 6. So when you look at it, you're going to want to be, all hands on deck. I think Milwaukee's pretty untouchable, but I think after that, a very healthy Brooklyn team that's playing well could cause problems for any team that's in that 2 or 3 spot.
Final score 125-115. Kyrie Irving finishing with 20 points. Spencer Dinwiddie with 28. Let's go courtside to Cassidy standing by with an emotional Kyrie Irving.
Yes, he's getting hugs from, of course, members of the Detroit Pistons, as they all know his close connection. First things first, Kyrie, I got to ask you, are you willing to share on your friend Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but let's first talk about the game, okay? And we saw you and Spencer hug as you were coming off it, and you two guys dominated tonight for your team. What's it like getting that production from Spencer specifically off the bench?
It's big time. When you're a basketball player and you're able to make the right plays and play at a high intensity level and really come out and make an impact on the game, no matter if you're starting or coming off the bench. We've seen special guys do that. We're still finding what our team identity looks like, and that's a good thing for us. It's a test every single night, but I'm glad we came out and handled business. It was a good win.
And obviously, it was an emotional win. We saw pregame. You had some clear emotions.
Yeah.
What do you want to share about Kobe Bryant, who we all know you had a very deep connection to?
Trying to keep my emotions together. I mean, you gotta understand it. Just his family and his friends, and it's just hard to even just conjure up the words. You try to find clear-cut message that you would send to Gigi and Kobe and everybody that lost their lives in such a tragedy like that. It's hard. It's hard, but I've been trying to do this the last few days, of just trying to get ready for a moment like this, but I just got to let it be, let it flow, and I know he's down watching as well as Gigi, as well as the young ball players that were on the plane as well. I was just with them at the Mamba Academy, working out with them in the summertime, as well as young girls losing their lives. So it's heartbreaking for all of us, but I'm not the only one dealing with something. So I think the most beautiful thing is that it's connecting all of us, and his seeds that he's planted in all of us could continue to grow, and his legacy is going to live on forever, obviously. But that man was a philosopher. He was a teacher. He left so many great things here for us to follow, and I'm just going to continue to carry the torch.
Nothing is easy about this week, and specifically having to make those comments after this win.
Yeah.
I think your words are going to comfort a lot of people, so thank you for taking the time.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Mark.
Kobe Bryant was a teenager when he walked onto the NBA stage, and there was no doubt in his mind that he was ready.
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to work hard every day. I'm young, but I'm not going to back down from anyone.
He had the drive, the ability to thrill, all wrapped in a megawatt smile.
Welcome to the Kobe Show.
And fans began to see that they were in for something special.
Here comes Bryant. Oh, missed by
pair with Shaquille O'Neal to form a powerful 1-2 punch, elevating his game when it counted most.
Kobe, jump shot for the lead, yes!
The Phenom had grown into a 3-time NBA champ.
That's three. Back to back to back.
Kobe was anything but a finished product. In the years that followed, he reached a new level of mental and physical dominance.
And an 81-point game.
The Mamba was born.
I couldn't even dream of this when I was a kid, just no way possible. Just a blessing from above.
And his scoring explosions captivated the league.
4 straight games, 50 or more points.
All the while, Kobe realized there was still room to grow.
Kobe Bryant, the 2007-2008 most valuable player.
And that true greatness means lifting those around you.
Go easy points. Make them earn everything.
He embraced his role as a leader, and the result was a return to glory for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Basketball immortality for the 09 Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles.
Kobe's ability to inspire wasn't limited to his body of work in the NBA.
They call me the OG, you know what I mean? So it's fun for me to be around these guys and kind of mentor them a little bit.
He was a driving force behind the 2008 Olympic team that restored USA basketball to the top of the podium and won gold again in 2012.
Team USA has won back-to-back gold medals.
Beloved by fans around the world, Kobe Bryant had transcended the game. He embodied excellence, achievement, and aspiration for millions of fans everywhere. And when it came time to write the final chapter of his NBA career, Kobe saved one of his most unforgettable performances for last.
Kobe Bryant, on the final night of his NBA career, scores 60 points. 6-0.
Man! To spend 20 years here, you can't write something better than this.
With his playing days behind him, he understood that all along, his single-minded pursuit of excellence was about much more than himself.
The most important thing is how your career moves and touches those around you and how it carries forward to the next generation.